Hi, thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well. Obviously, you read the title, you saw the thumbnail. Today, I am reacting to Alan Roberts. I used to watch his videos religiously, like every single day. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he made a lot of good points. I thought we agreed on things. And one, it turns out we don't. And the only reason I thought I did is for reasons in my personal life, being molded into someone I was not, and I was becoming a very angry and hateful person, like Alan Roberts seems to be. I watched his stuff, believing him, thinking he was right on everything, thought his points were really good points. I thought him being angry meant that it was something that meant you need to be passionate about, like this is serious stuff. Come to find there's bigger issues in the world that should be addressed, and he's making these very little issues huge. He points out the extremes in groups of people, making it seem like those extremists are the group of people when they only represent a very, very small percentage of the group, and the group as a whole might actually be a really positive and good group to listen to. He spews a lot of misinformation or partial information. The last is kind of, just showing my sensitivity and the fact that when I was watching him, I was in a very vulnerable place. It deterred me from fully embracing recovery because he spewed a lot. He says a lot of things that are disordered eating, can trigger disordered eating, re-trigger eating disorders if you are not prepared for it. And now I am at a much healthier place physically and mentally where I can listen to him and I can logically detect and dissect what he is saying and then laugh about it instead of getting mad like him. Fat people have a right to be upset. Do they? Don't they? Well, let's find out. When there is literally a less than 1% chance a person of my size will ever be thin, but everyone thinks fat people just don't try hard enough. I don't think that's a true statistic, but I can understand feeling that way. Chalking it all up to, oh, fat people are lazy, fat people don't try hard enough. Thin people can be lazy too. Hi, I'm a very lazy individual. Not fat by any means, just think I am sometimes, but that's my own disordered mindset. And guess what? Sometimes thin people, fit people don't try hard enough either. Try hard enough for what? What is thin? When I think of thin, I think of like sticks. That's thin. So yeah, there should be a small chance of you ever being thin. In fact, that is something you shouldn't want. In my mind, my definition of thin, your definition might be different. You can be thinner. You could be a, more average weight, a lower weight, but thin,
Why should I be calm? I have a right to be upset!
So this woman, and anybody else like her, does have a right to be very upset with themselves and likely each other.
Okay, that's who they should be upset with. That's okay. So that's who they should be upset with. Themselves. Is it because they don't try hard enough, Alan?
For convincing each other of that bullshit. Let me get this right. By this woman's own statement, less than 1% of people that are as fat as fuck as she is ever have a chance of escaping the self-imposed gluttony prison of morbid obesity that they earned by eating more calories systemically day after day after day, year after year.
I think what she said was less than 1% of people with her body will ever be thin. I don't entirely see as a bad thing. You should only strive for health. Striving for thinness is toxic, to say the least.
Than they needed to maintain a healthy weight and healthy metabolic system. So less than 1% of people, according to her, could escape that prison that they have built for themselves that will lead them to have massively higher chances of chronic lifestyle-driven illnesses.
They might be the construction worker of that problem, but you're kind of like, there's someone on the job site who doesn't do the actual construction, but he kind of like sets the guidelines for the construction. You're kind of like that person. Like you're not helping. You're helping the situation grow, but you're not really helping the issue. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not entirely their fault. And if they're angry, they have a right to be upset. They have a right to their feelings. Could their feelings be misdirected? Sure. See, I'm of the opinion that it's okay to be upset when people outside of yourself, outside of your group, outside of your family, outside of the people who are close to you, simply want to hurt you because of your body. They simply want to create assumptions about your body and your lifestyle.
That shorten their life, cause massive pain, early death, and burden our healthcare system disproportionately.
He's just upset because he has to pay taxes and he's like capitalist, which, okay, he has a right to be upset about, but like that means they can be upset too for, society's standards and misinformation about health and weight and all of that fun stuff that he perpetuates.
To that of a thin person. So less than 1% of people, according to this woman's statement, could do that. So less than 1 out of 100 people. So let's say it was 1 out of 1,000. You're not going to try to save your own life. You're not going to try to fight the odds. Like, this is the problem when people just give the fuck up on themselves.
But that doesn't mean being thin. Don't think he understands that. Someone who is 400 pounds should not be like, oh, I am striving to be 120. And I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm saying right now, from the get-go, it's an unrealistic goal to set. It's about setting realistic goals in a realistic time frame and then meeting those goals as you see fit, in a healthy way as you see fit. Striving for thinness, again, shouldn't be the goal.
And they look to be a victim. They don't even try to better themselves.
And there it is. He already said it, but here he is saying it again. They don't try hard enough. What is try hard enough? What is the scale of trying hard enough? I have been told you're not even trying when I am literally experiencing a mental battle between eat too much, and throw up, and fight not to do that. But it's still difficult to take that initial bite and just eat enough to nourish my body. I'm fighting a battle, but I'm not trying hard enough. One person's trying might be another person's, a person might think you're giving up when you don't know what they are going up against. So yeah, there he said it. He said exactly what she said she's upset about people saying. You're not trying hard enough. Thank you for validating her point completely.
This is fucking pathetic. You have a right to be upset. I'm sure your parents are very upset for the weak-ass person that they raised.
Oh. So this man just wants to upset people for the sake of upset. He gets some sick validation out of it. You just want to be cruel. You don't want to help. You just want to hurt people. How dare you? You are a grown man. You are old enough to be my father. You can insult me all day long. All day long. Do not care. But when you pull someone's parents or my parents into the conversation and have the audacity to assume shame upon me by my parents, I will laugh in your fucking face, you insulting asshole. You have no right to say that. And now I am pulling from a personal experience where this did happen. And I was insulted. And then it led to that person who has never met me, never met my parents, go on to say that my parents should be, or probably ashamed for how I turned out. And I'm like, no. See, I was raised to be like this. Don't bring the parents in and don't presume shame from those parents. So that's that one. Let's watch another one, shall we? Are we feeling good? All right, here's one. Obesity is a choice 100% of the time. Science and medical experts have already proven that to be false, so.
I want to thank you, anonymous random commenter, because it's without commenters like you, I wouldn't have any content. And because there's so many different ways I could respond to this comment. First of all, doctors are people, and people are just as susceptible to having fat phobia, regardless of their profession.
Let's read what the comment says. Fat phobia is not a thing. Why do you think doctors say you need to lose weight for your health? Stop being delusional. Okay, I'm going to address this comment. Okay, so Fat phobia is a thing. Everyone is allowed to interpret the word fat phobia how you want to choose. I do think that it's okay to see the word fat phobia and think of like the fear of becoming fat. A content creator, her name I think is Megan, I'm so sorry if I'm wrong about that. She lost a lot of weight and she's like, I am fat phobic because I'm afraid to be that fat again. That's fine. I think that is fine. Fat phobia also can be used as a umbrella term about the way society treats fat people negatively because of their fatness. I am under no delusion, I'm not in denial, the fact that there's a lot of doctors who will simply prescribe weight loss instead of addressing the issue that the patient is coming to them with the problem, with this symptom or this issue. And instead they're like, well, you know, it's probably you just need to lose weight. There's a lot of doctors who will turn to weight loss as the first and only solution, and then we can address the issue. That's when major problems are getting swept under the rug under the guise of it's for your health, just lose weight. I 100% know and believe that this is an occurrence in the medical system and it needs to stop. I am also of the belief system that if this is happening, you need to find a new doctor. It is your responsibility to find a new doctor that will address the issue that you are coming to them with. In a perfect society, yeah, the system, the medical professional, the medical field would change. We do not live in that perfect system. We live in an imperfect world, and sometimes you have to do the work, do the change, and find someone who will listen to you. And that's the beautiful thing. You can believe both things to be true simultaneously, okay? You just go find a different doctor. If you're just sitting back and being like, wah, medical doctor told me to lose weight, no one will listen to me. Find someone who will. As someone who has found someone who finally listens, you can find someone who finally listens.
And here's an interesting thing. We don't know how to lose weight. Not for most people effectively, long term, without gaining it back.
Yes, we do.
I was about to say, yes, we do, because there's hundreds and hundreds of people who do it.
We know that every human being on the planet could lose weight. Every single human being on this planet could lose weight and keep it off. Not one human being breaks the laws of thermodynamics, bro.
That is untrue. There are medical conditions that make it harder, and in some cases virtually impossible, to lose a significant amount of weight. The percentage of those people are very small, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who are undiagnosed. I actually have a medical condition that makes it difficult to lose weight. It also makes it difficult to build muscle and keep the muscle. So I have just come to a point where I have to accept it is difficult to lose weight. I am prone to rapid weight gain, and I lack the ability to grow muscle. Actually, sir, not 100% of people can lose weight and keep it off. There are factors that make it difficult or virtually impossible.
Like, not one. Not one human being could burn less calories than what they take in and have their body not try to create that energy from something they've got stored, whether it be fat or muscle. Like, not one. Like, it's completely intellectually disingenuous for you to imply that there are people that just can't lose weight and keep it off. No, everybody could lose weight and keep it off. They just don't.
Let's pretend we live in this world where everyone can do what he is saying. Alan Roberts and people who think like Alan Roberts are under the impression that let's take a fat person, let's take a morbidly obese fat person, whatever terminology they are comfortable with, and let's say they decide to make a lifestyle change. And they go on a lifestyle change diet, okay? Not a fad diet, not a crash diet, but a lifestyle change, just making healthier choices with their food. And maybe they're like, I'm gonna start to go for short walks. People like him, they give off the impression that they think the moment that person makes that decision, suddenly they lose weight overnight. While simultaneously, people like him are like, you have to do it in a smart way and it's going to take time. yet they want to see results from other people instantly. He then insults fat people. You don't know if that 300-pound person who isn't trying hard enough wasn't 400 pounds last year. But you are willing to take that risk and deter their weight loss or their health journey by insulting them and giving them unwarranted advice and misinformation.
A lot of people don't, because speaking as somebody that's lost 100 pounds and kept it off for years, speaking as somebody that's coached over 1,000 people at this point to lose weight and keep it off for years and years and years and years, speaking as somebody that does this for a living, I can tell you that people do not change systemically, change their lifestyle to the point where they lose weight and keep it off. It is a choice. You could choose to change, you see. It is harder for some people, yes. Do some people have metabolic disorders or slower metabolism than others? Absolutely.
So now he's backtracking. 5 seconds ago he said everyone can, and now he's saying, but there are people with medical conditions and, metabolic blah, blah, blah. So not 100% of people.
That still makes it a choice. You can still choose to eat less. What somebody else's metabolism is does not actually affect you. I don't know why we are in this stage in society where we think somebody else's health actually affects your health unless they are actually using more resources that affect your health. They are not. If you are fat as fuck, as you are, bro, you are using plenty of resources. Somebody else's quick metabolism and them eating less and them being thinner than you is not affecting your ability to get resources to jam into your face.
How is that fat guy affecting you, sir? How is his metabolism and his choices affecting you directly?
At such a high rate that is causing you to be morbidly obese. Everybody can lose weight. It is a choice. Anybody that pretends it's not a choice, I've seen this huge argument amongst fitness people recently. Oh, it's not really a choice for some people. It's a choice 100% of the time. You choose what you eat. It's harder for some, yes. Do some have to eat much less than other people? Yes. But what one person compared to another person chooses to eat are still the individual choices, you dumb fucks.
So those individual choices have no bearing or effect on your life. So what am I trying to say? Oh, shut the fuck up. But here's the thing. Another person's food choices, another person's exercise choices, another person's body have zero effect on this dude. But what he is putting out to the world does affect people. And that is where I come in to say, hey, don't listen to this guy. Listen to people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about and who aren't going to get bent out of shape because someone has a higher body weight than myself. I will not get upset by that. It does not bother me. Obese privilege at New York Fashion Week. Fat people owe society weight loss. No one owes anyone anything. Unless you owe money to me. I want that back. I'm picking this one because, if you don't know, I have a background in fashion.
I want to see some change. I really want to see some change, and we deserve it. The plus-size community deserves it.
I just want to get this out of the way first and foremost. Wear whatever you're going to wear. I don't care. Wear white after Labor Day. Do whatever you want to do with your clothing. Wear a bikini, wear a one piece, wear all the clothing you own, wear none of it. It does not impact me at all. That is your business. I have no business in telling you what to wear. I do not give a shit. It does not impact me whatsoever. But for this woman who has gluttoned herself to a state of morbid obesity to think that the plus size community is owed anything.
Wear whatever you want. Wear what you like. Do you? It has no effect on me. But it does, is really what you're trying to say. Actually, what he's saying is, wear the clothing that you like, you think looks good, wear what you like. It has no effect on me, but your body does. Your body that you are choosing to put those clothes on does affect me. So much so, I needed to turn my camera on and yell about it.
By society is disgusting obese privilege to me. Why would society owe the plus size community anything when the plus size community owes society a lot?
Is he just mad because these obese women are wearing bikinis and he feels like he can't? Is that what I'm getting from this?
At this point, for the last 2.5 to 3 years, we trashed all of society and ruined children's futures.
Shut up about the pandemic. Shut up, get over it. Was it handled well from the beginning? No. This was a scenario that we were not prepared for and did not know how to handle, so we had to handle it the best we could. So shut up about it. What would you have done any better? You couldn't do any better. You're only speaking in hindsight now.
And economically destroyed the country to protect elderly people and mostly people with chronic lifestyle-driven illnesses such as type 2 diabetes.
They deserve to die, right? What are you saying?
Cardiovascular disease. 90% of all type 2 diabetes is avoidable by lifestyle change. 80% of all cardiovascular disease is avoidable by lifestyle change. 70% of all cases of cancer and 70% of all cases of strokes are avoidable by lifestyle change. Why would society owe the plus size community anything when they were used? People that eat too much, drink too much, and smoke too much were used as leverage to trash society for the last almost 3 years.
What does this have to do with Fashion Week? I feel like he picks a video to react to because he has a rant he wants to go on, picks a video and tries to connect the two just so he can go on some weird rant about the pandemic and how apparently fat people should die. They weren't worth saving during the pandemic. That's what I'm getting from what he's saying. He is not careful with his words whatsoever.
If anything, the plus size community owes the rest of society their health, to do their very best to get healthy so they cannot be used as an excuse, again, to close all of society over a cold.
Yeah, a cold that killed thousands and thousands and thousands of people worldwide. You know what doesn't do that? A cold. He doesn't even know what her video was about. He just wanted to rant about that.
So, pardon me if I do not think that society owes plus size people anything. The massive, just privileged overconsumption of resources and food, of fuel, and what it does to the person and how it clogs our healthcare system with a good $2.7 trillion a year being tied up in avoidable chronic lifestyle-driven illnesses that we all share in.
What does he think fat people owe him? Oh, wait, he told me. He's saying it right here. Fat people owe him weight loss. You are wrong. Let's refer back to his first point about, he doesn't care what people wear. Maybe you shouldn't care how people live either.
And the massive amount of burden it puts actually on the healthcare system, which we were terrified we were going to overload the healthcare system from a cold that was, again, predominantly as hard on elderly people and fat people. How do we owe them anything when, in fact, the plus size community is burdening the planet, our country, themselves, and society more than anybody else?
So just let them die, apparently, because I'm getting that vibe from him. I'm not saying he's saying that, but I was hoping we were going to talk about fashion. I was really expecting that from him. Anyway, once again, we have Alan Roberts yelling, shouting, and he's mad about something. One day, maybe he will divulge in one of his videos what it is he's really mad about. Did a fat girl turn him down at some point in his life? Anyway, I'm going to end the video right here. So thank you so much for clicking on the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy it, you can give it a thumbs down. That is cool too. I don't mind. I know there are a lot of people who watch my Alan Roberts videos and disagree with me. So let me know down in the comments, because if you have any comments, questions, video suggestions, anything at all, feel free to leave that down below. I will read it. If you are not subscribed already, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit the notification bell to stay notified of all future uploads. I mean, if you hate my videos, you should still subscribe because I love hate watchers. And be sure to go follow me over on Instagram. And I'll see you next time. Bye!